Two men with thought-provoking intellect, a rousing discussion with a hint of humor. He says this, I say that, with a host that...
Bruh, it's a podcast.
Hi, I would like to welcome you all to Bruh, It's a Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney. We got our two philosophers, Q and E, with us. How are y'all doing today?
Yo, what up?
Philosopher. What would my philosopher name be? I gotta think about that one. They were all Greek, right? For the most part.
I think so.
Well, no. We went to college. Stop. Not all philosophers were Greek. Just stop.
That was my test question. Very good. Very good.
Am I uneducated?
So we're gonna give you a dumb philosopher name like El Dumbo. Because
no, I was asking a test question.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I knew I was going to get one of you.
Yeah, it was me.
It's all right, man. You're gonna get one millennial when you throw a grenade of dumbness in the room.
All right, so I wanted to get your thoughts on what different governments are doing to make sure that we social distance properly. I wanted to get your thoughts on this one particular country, Sweden. They're starting to use smelly chicken manure in order to encourage people to stay away from public places. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I'm sorry. You said smelly chicken manure. Are you saying that they put chicken poop out in the public to keep people away?
Yes, they are putting chicken manure in public parks and different places around Sweden to keep people away from getting to these areas to social distance.
So the person dropping off chicken poop in the public area, they're viewed as an essential worker.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, whatever works best. I just would hate to be that guy.
Why not just follow the example of the married couples in this world? I'm sure they're staying 6 feet apart right about now.
What's the example of the married couples are giving us?
Because, man, these married couples, man, that's spending all this time, I guarantee you they 6 feet apart all day.
I think
Q just hates marriage, man. That's what it really comes down to. Q just hates the thought of marriage. He hates it completely.
I don't let my one bad experience, hold me back. I'm just saying.
Yo, Q, it's all right, man. You're hurting.
I am not.
Hurt people. Here you're trying to hurt our millions and millions of fans. I'm speaking for the future. But it's okay, man. It's okay. You'll find a woman that loves you again. Don't worry about it.
I'm just saying, I remember social distancing when I was married in the house, and that was 2001.
Oh, so your social distancing was the man cave downstairs.
Exactly. I was social distancing in the basement.
Got you.
And you know what?
Gotcha.
Had I known that smelly chicken manure at the doorway would keep her from ever coming down, I would have slapped a bucket right in the doorway.
Bruh.
So you guys just think that this is going to work then, clearly, because if married couples are going to stay away, chicken manure should do the job.
I mean, personally, I'm more of a city guy. I've never really smelled chicken manure, so I don't really know how threatening the scent might actually be. But that being said, whatever works. This social distancing is real. It needs to be done so that this coronavirus can run its course and hopefully run quicker than others. But like I said, I just feel bad for the essential worker who's a government employee whose now job is to drop off poop in the national parks.
I'm going to go out on a limb, E, and say that all manure smells bad. It doesn't matter if it's a chicken or a human.
When he said he was from the city, I was like,
bruh.
That decipher
I tried to let it go, man. But when he said, hey, but I don't know how chicken manure, I'm like, bruh, it's excrement. It stinks.
You know what? That might actually be a valid statement.
Yeah. I thought I was uneducated again because I was like, do I not know what different poo smells like? Like, is that on me?
No.
Getting to the next topic, the world wants to know, because this keeps popping up in our mystery platform, athletes and pay. We have the women's soccer team that's trying to get equal pay from the National Soccer Association to have it as equal as the men. So these are things that keep popping up. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
There's one I don't want to touch.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're just gonna run from topics. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run from topics.
After you, E.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, all right, I already made my first dumb comment of the night. Let's continue. Business is rough, man. As much as we are diehard fans, there's a business side to every single sport. And in reference to equal pay, you want to talk about what funds are being generated from the sport. If the men's portion brings in 4 times the revenue than the women's portion, how can they actually be paid equally if overall the money isn't equal? It's tougher than it sounds. But ideally, in regards to women's rights and so forth, you want them to be paid equally. But when it comes down to business, if one's making more money than the other, they have more money to provide in reference to salaries.
You stole my point.
Oh, but you told me to go first.
But
okay.
But I agree. Equal pay is a tough topic because it's per performance, and you're being paid based on what you're providing. And in a sport, it's revenue, and it's how many people are watching and how beloved are you. When you think of women's soccer, the one you know by name is what, Rapinoe? Is that her name?
Megan Rapinoe?
Yes.
I thought it was Rapinoe, but I could be wrong. Continue.
Yeah. Well, we don't do research here.
I usually give small vowels if they are under 6 foot. So the thing with her, she's the face of soccer. But if she walked past you tomorrow, odds are you wouldn't know that was her.
Why is that? Is it because of her height?
Because no one watches that.
Oh, I was going to say because Lionel Messi's like 5'2".
Because out of 10 people, 1, maybe 2 will watch women's soccer.
Well, I'll throw something at you guys because there's a point I think you both are missing.
Hold on, but before you throw that point, I want to say I would argue that in America, women's soccer is more popular than men's soccer.
Yeah, that's what I was actually about to say. And not only that, the men's soccer team in comparison to the women's soccer team is dominant and known as the best team the past decade or two. Whereas the men's soccer team are not good at all. They're actually bad. So when we talk about equal pay, I understand business, but if I'm the best in the world and this counterpart of mine is terrible, y'all got to do something else. And I don't care about the business.
So
that's fair.
But it's deeper than that, and this is what makes it a larger scheme. And I hate to be so serious about these episodes, but the fact of the matter is we have the MLS, which is basically the G League of all soccer in the world. So that the money being generated there is obviously not as great as what somebody's making in Spain for playing for Barcelona or Real Madrid. But in reference to women's soccer, the women's league, I don't even think not that I know of, I could be completely wrong, as you said. I don't even think there's a women's league here. I think that Rapinoe is popular, or the women's team is popular because of the Olympics. And you don't necessarily, quote unquote, get paid for the Olympics, quote unquote, but they get paid, if they play in a league outside of the United States. So in regards to that, they potentially can make more money outside of the United States because their revenue is larger there. And that's the issue with the WNBA.
I agree, and I want to change my answer. And I hate agreeing with him, but you brought up a good point. I didn't even consider how popular women's soccer is. So they have a decent argument there with the equal pay.
The only reason that you're agreeing with me now is because I took it very serious to make up for my poop comment earlier. Continue.
One thing that I think you'll have a better perspective on, Q, and me and E will kind of battle out, our opinions based off of what we do know and what we don't. Now that the economy is slowly starting to open back up, I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on what are the
differences. Did you just call us broke? You said Q knows better than us in this economy. All of a sudden, we're just poor?
No. With what the question is going to be.
I mean, I am poor, but I don't want to tell the people like that. I mean, give me some slack. Geez.
The point that I'm talking about is once 9/11 hit and the world changed, this is another major event in the history of the world, basically, that something has happened and now the world is going to change again. So I kind of wanted to get your thoughts first, Q, on how do you think the world is going to change and kind of compare it to how the world changed after 9/11? Because we were young when that happened. We were around, but we weren't, necessarily adults who kind of knew everything that was going on and kind of knew the context of everything.
I was old enough for 9/11. I was aware of what was going on in 9/11. Maybe you were 6, but I wasn't. but I wasn't.
If I was 6, you were like 9.
But to be clear, I was 13 when 9/11 occurred. Continue.
My fault. You were clearly a genius 13-year-old who understood the context of what's happening in the world.
And Q was 33. Continue.
I was 28 years old. I'm not ashamed of that. I was 28 years old. And what changed after that? The world hated Muslims. Every Muslim became a terrorist in the eyes of everyone. The stock market crashed. It took a long time to turn it around. And people just didn't trust anyone for a long time. There was a lot of hate that spewed from that. And it took a long time to try and recover from that. I think with this that's happening now, money-wise, it's going to change a lot of things. Brothers have not looked this bad for a long time. Like, the only men that look good right now are top government agents and gay dudes. Other than that, everybody looks bad. I mean, come on. E, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. Because look, gay dudes never look bad. They always got their hair done right. You're never going to see a gay dude that looks like he just woke up. Bruh. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. I'm sorry. When I can get to my barber and stop looking like Rasheed Wallace, I'll be
all right, hold on. First off, shout out to Rasheed Wallace. He's one of the greatest post defenders of all time. and he's my guy. Backtracking just a little bit, there's a lot of similarities in regards to 9/11. As he said, number one, a lot of people started hating Muslims. Similar to that, a lot of people started to hate the Chinese, for example, or the Japanese, or anyone within the Asian cultures, because they think they're hearing that's where it came from and so forth. And another thing that he said was no one trusted anybody back then. That's similar to right now, right? We say this over and over again. Now you make a call for psychological. I don't even accept people in my home right now, because at my home right now is a safe zone for myself and my family. I would assume mostly everybody's like that, because that's what we're being told, right? Don't let nobody in, and don't, because you cannot, quote unquote, trust anybody right now. So there's a lot of similarities into that right now. I would argue, though, this might be a controversial statement, coronavirus is impacting the world more than 9/11 did. 9/11 was an American problem, and it did affect America greatly. I'm not so sure majority of the world, quote unquote, felt our pain. But what I can say with the coronavirus, for the mass majority of the world, is feeling this, because it's literally affecting everybody. So I think it's similar, but it is different, if that makes sense.
No, these things definitely hit different when it's like a faceless opponent that you can't really point at and blame. Like, it's a disease. It's something that hits our bodies and affects us, and we all are feeling it the same way. No, I agree. It definitely hits the world in a much larger way than 9/11 did, with all due respect, obviously. Back to our weekly segment of going through, the MJ documentary. I have a question that's going to be a little bit controversial, depending on who you are. Is Michael Jordan sensitive? I have seen time and time again him get upset at things that he should not really be getting upset at. Like, I could understand things bothering him, but we have Jerry Krause, who he bullied. He bullied him because he liked Tony Kukoc. He bullied him because he liked Marley, or the defender on the Suns. Dan Marley. He's getting offended because he keeps trying to find ways to get his team better. And like, Michael Jordan just takes these like slights, and he gets like so mad at this like 50-year-old fat dude who really can't defend himself from Michael Jordan in the sense of jokes or physicality or whatever. And all Jerry Krause really did was try to compete at his job the best way that he could. So in a sense, you can kind of call him the MJ of GMs at that time, because the one thing the documentary gave him props for was the fact that he was good at every aspect of his job when it came to being a GM.
So is Michael Jordan sensitive? Yes. Easy answer. And as a competitor, you got to do whatever you got to do to give yourself a mental edge in regards to get yourself that extra fire to keep it going. But
I want to stop you there before you go. That's what I'm okay with. I'm going to another level. I know that you have to, get the fire and kind of, get these things that will kind of bother you and like motivate you. But I mean, like, are there things that he's just sensitive about because he's not comfortable in his own skin about certain things, just because there was somebody in the world who said, hey, look, you're good, but I'm going to literally count this organization as being bigger than you, because at the end of the day, it is. And I'm just reminding you of that to kind of keep you from this pedestal that you've been placed upon.
I would say, is he sensitive? Yeah. But I think it's not the right term. I think it's more petty. To emphasize where I think you're going, I would use the Isaiah Thomas analogy even better. When he goes, Isaiah Thomas is the second greatest person, but I still hate him. Like, how you hate this dude 30 years later? It's 30 years later, but you hate him, but you want to put him in your documentary and make it public to say that you hate him. I feel like he put Isaiah in just to get one more step on him. To me, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate first before I give the answer. Isaiah Thomas and crew beat on him really bad 4 or 5 years in a row. At many points throughout those series, they were not playing basketball. They were just trying to hurt him, pushing him out of the air, elbowing him in the face, things that today would have people ejected and taken time off. From that standpoint, and for the years of abuse he took, I can understand still not liking them. That's their part. The part with Tony Kukoc, if you are the best player in the world and you are winning championships and you're bringing the franchise notoriety and fame and championships and a lot of things that they never had and haven't had since, I can understand you being upset because instead of paying someone who should be paid that's currently on your roster and giving you everything, you are worried about this foreign guy and bringing him in and calling him the future while you're in the middle of a title defense. So those two instances, I get it. Now, that being said, Jordan is overly sensitive. He is petty. A lot of the things he does are narcissistic. I mean, most people know that. That's just who he is. He's not a nice person. He never proclaimed it.
I don't have a problem with you disliking Isaiah Thomas or the Detroit Pistons because they were overly physical. I don't have a problem with you dislike them. I do, on the other hand, have a problem with you 30 years later, asking him to be in your documentary, belittling him in your documentary, saying that you hate him in your documentary. Yes, that to me is a stretch. You could not like him. You don't got to be in your documentary now. You know, like you put him on just to kick him in the butt. It don't make no sense.
And so to end things off, I have one final question. This question has popped up as what's the best way to break up with a significant other once the quarantine is done? Like, now that it's done, we can get back to real life. Like, how do we get away? And be creative. The people want to know.
This is the perfect time to ghost somebody. They might have thought you passed away. Okay, so take that off the record. Okay, take that off the record.
Yo, that's terrible.
That is bad.
All right, the most effective way, if you're a gentleman, you tell the lady, you know, I Corona made me think, and I realized that there's certain things that I want to do, and it's not with you. That's probably the most effective way. What you can do, what I would suggest though, take it to Pizza Hut, man. Do you guys like Pizza Hut pizza?
Wow. They all taste taste like the box.
Exactly. If I take you to Pizza Hut, you know when a relationship is over. Take them to Pizza Hut, let them order what they want, deuces.
Really?
You know what? Before you go, Q, I think that's a mistake. Remember, we've been cooped up in the house for months. That might be a little real at this point.
It might be. Listen, men are bad at breaking up with people. We will just act like a jerk for months and hope that you just let us out of our misery. No man is breaking up with a woman. We can't. We just can't. That's why I lived in a basement for 3 years. Men don't have the guts to say it. They just want you to figure it out. If it's a good dude, yeah, you know he don't want to be there no more. But as long as he don't say it, you still got you a man.
You've never broken up with a chick?
You know what?
How'd you do it?
Once.
Since this obviously set the standard for your lifestyle.
Well, it was my
Your birthday. I love this story. Continue. She got you a gift.
It was my birthday. I had already moved on and had a new girlfriend.
So you cheated on her? Okay, just tell the truth. You cheated on her.
Whoa. See, I had mentally exited already. Mentally, I had checked out. I was moving on. It was my birthday. I figured that day she wouldn't, let me have it too bad. And She gave me my gift. Luckily, it was jeans and a shirt, so I didn't feel too bad about breaking it off. I let her know. It was very difficult. She cried a lot. She was very upset. Yeah, that's not something we like to do. It was once in my
On
entire
your
life, and it was
birthday.
very difficult.
You're heartless.
And the jeans didn't fit, and because we broke up, I couldn't
You're
ask for the
heartless.
gift receipt.
You're heartless. You're
Macy's
heartless.
wouldn't even take them
let me
back.
let me translate what really happened, because Q's obviously lying to the masses. What really happened is Q said, you know what? I want to break up with her earlier and I want to do the right thing, but my birthday's coming up. Let me get this gift.
That's a fact.
Let me get this gift. And then after I get the gift, after I quote unquote secured the bag, then I'm gonna drop it like it's hot. That's what really happened.
I had been saying since January.
And when's your birthday,
I was
Q?
gonna
Let the
break
people
it
know.
off.
So you had 8
Oh,
months.
but see,
That's 8 months.
this is the thing. This is the thing.
That's
This is
8
the thing.
months.
But hear me out on this.
It's almost an
Once it got-
anniversary.
8
But
months.
Court, listen. Once it got to June and I still hadn't manned up and said anything, I might as well ride out to August now, baby.
You got to see at
Yeah.
least what it's gonna be,
So,
right?
so
I gotta at least open the gift.
let's rewind this a little bit. New Year's, Q kissed the girl. Happy New Year, baby. Thought to himself, yo, this is a dub. I gotta break it off. But he didn't have courage for 6 months.
Yeah, man.
Every day he looked at it, he said, I
It
can't
took
stay
a
in this woman.
while.
I can't stay in this woman. I gotta run. And then when June came, he said, yo, my
No.
birthday's in 2 months. Hold on. Hold on.
And it was a bad. Yeah,
So-
once it was
so
June.
when'd you
man.
start
Yeah, I might as
dating
well
the new
ride it
girl?
out now. November.
No,
Like
no,
November.
because you broke up with old girl in August. So you were dating beforehand.
Right. Oh no. I'm talking about November before.
What? Yo, I think we've gone way past what the question was.
The question.
Yeah, let's move on, man. Let's move on.
Yeah, we failed the
questions
audience.
Make questions so people understand. Okay, now we get the podcast started. I like this. Unfortunately, I don't have any extra weird breakup stories because I always think that you should break up with a girl, period, and keep it moving. What I will tell you is that I did prepare for a breakup. And by preparing was I had the entire argument played in my head. I was like, yo, she's going to say this, she's going to say this. So I literally broke up with her with a notebook in my hand. And I had a notebook full of responses. Like, okay, situation A, situation B, situation C. Because I knew she was going to tear my head off.
Yo, E is the only person that I know that can
Yep.
multiple choices
Son.
way out of a relationship.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. You talk about me, man.
No,
that's
it's not worse. I don't care what anybody says in the world. No, it's not.
Q, you literally decided to break up with somebody in like 3 seasons before going through with it.
He brought it to Thanksgiving. It was like, yo, she ain't it. Started hollering at an old girl.
Yeah.
Spend time with her New Year's. Yo, your Valentine's Day was busy, bro.
It was 2 destinations.
I feel like I have to be like Q's lawyer and say like he pleads the fifth. Like you can't keep going, Q.
Yeah, I gotta stop.
We gotta save you. All right,
Somebody look up and say, wait a minute.
I know, right? Somebody starts putting the timeline together. Final thoughts. Best way that men would like to be broken up with. Quick hits. Like if you were going to be broken up with,
Me or
how
men?
would you prefer it to be done to you? No. I'm going to say
me
you.
specifically.
I don't care about
The
everybody
best
else.
way to break
What
up
do you-
with me,
Yeah,
call
yeah,
me
yeah.
and be like, yo, it's a wrap. Like, yo, it's time to break up.
That's
I'm
it?
like, why? And did you say that? And that's it. That's the best way to do it for me.
Yeah.
Don't meet
All
up
right,
with me.
Yeah, just tell me, man. Just
Don't
tell
make me pay for dinner, jerk, and then tell me it's over. Nah. But some men, they'll come at your door and scream why and throw pebbles at your window. Not me.
No, y'all are better than me. I want a meal. Like, yeah, if you're gonna dump me, like, I want a dinner, I want a dessert, I want a
You
full
say that,
conversation.
man, it depends how much you were invested.
And
Courtney, you're a lovey-dovey kind of guy.
Yeah, that's some divas.
You're a lovey-dovey kind of guy. You just be like, why? You be like, I don't even feel like eating. I lost my appetite. That's what you're gonna say. You're like, I can't even eat anymore. Oh, just take it all. You're gonna walk off and storm. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna take the meal with me though when I walk off. I'll tell you that.
Last thing I'll say about that, I remember, I don't want to go into detail.
The podcast just started, Q. Relax. Go ahead, bro.
One legal relationship.
Stop.
When I
What is
left,
an illegal relationship?
You know,
What is an illegal one?
when I was married, I left the house because of something she did. And the date was February 12th when I left the house. And I was
Because
happy
you
as
have
hell.
to get it for
Man.
Valentine's Day.
Save that money, bruh. Saved it.
February
Thank you
12th.
for acting up on the 12th and not the 15th.
Shout out to February
That's
15th. That's Side
genius.
Chick Day.
Well, we'd like to thank everybody for coming in. We'll be back next Thursday with a new episode. Follow us on our socials at Bruh
Twitter.
Podcast, Twitter, Instagram.
MySpace.
Whoa. Yo, you're
We
showing
do not
your
have a
age.
MySpace. But yo, tell them to hit us up on the email with any questions, any topics they want to talk about.
Oh yeah, bruh, it's a podcast at gmail.com. We don't have money yet for a real email.
I like you, Google. Your real email. On that note, hit it with the outro.
Bruh, 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 bruh. It's a podcast.